let me tell you a story about getting very annoyed and then things working out okay. Actually, better than okay.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that, we just got back from Budapest yesterday, and are going to be talking about it a little bit in this episode. So one of the things that we did was a nighttime cruise, dinner cruise on the Danube. And it was a little bit stressful, getting to this cruise because there was flooding, in Budapest. So not anyone's fault. Well, I mean, except for humanity in general because of climate change, but like this particular instance was no one's fault. But we gave ourselves plenty of time to get from where we were to the place where the dinner cruise was. I had it all marked on the map. Everything was going fine. We get partway there and are stopped by a flood, and cannot go any farther. Meanwhile, we walk by this entire crowd of people who seem to be waiting to get into an entirely derelict, dark, shitty boat. We walk back out and around. We try to make it to the dock or pier where our boat is leaving from. That is entirely flooded. I try to call the people. I have gotten no communication from them saying anything is wrong, right? So I try to call the people. I don't get anything. I email them and they email me back saying, okay, go to dock 10 instead of 6. So we walk back, realizing as we're walking that we are getting in the line to get on the dark, shitty boat. The boat that I referred to as like ghost ship or something. Just a few moments earlier, Matt said that he felt like if we got on there, we would be murdered. So I'm not in a good mood at this point. I'm angry at the people for not emailing me. I'm annoyed that we had to go out of our way for a variety of different things and that we're going to be getting on this shitty ship. So Matt said to me at one point, do you want to just go home? And I said, yes, but I'm not going to, which I think is a thing, right? Like, it's a travel thing. Sometimes things aren't working out and you get super pissed about it, but you got to push through, which is where we're going, right? We get in the back of this line. It's very long. It's very confusing. There are several lines for different cruises. I think usually these lines would be in different places. They would not all be on the same pier, but again, flooding, a bunch of these things are underwater, where tourist boats would normally be docking. We get in our line. We go into the terrifying murder boat, only to discover that it is merely a passageway to a very nice boat that is hidden on the other side of it, and that is where the cruise is actually happening. We get into the very nice boat. We get a table by the window. There are not thousands of people on there like I thought there were, because these lines are all for different confusing things. And it was lovely. The food was great. There was a musical performance that was not too obtrusive, which was good. The views were amazing. We had some nice wine. It was a very fun evening, and it did turn out very good. So obviously I'm glad that I did not just go home, because I would have missed out on all of that. But I had to dig deep to overcome my frustration at I've spent a bunch of money on this and now it's looking like it's going to be super crappy and I'm confused and I'm mad about bad communication and all of this. But it turned out great. So I think that sort of summarizes some of our trip in general, right? Our last podcast, we talked about the frustrations of getting there with, my flights being canceled and, missing my luggage and all of that. And then Matt and my mom being trapped in this, Prague's worst mass shooting, Czech Republic's worst mass shooting ever. And so, but the rest of the trip was great after that rough start, right? So it's sort of the same thing encapsulated in a smaller evening, right? Rough start, everything worked out great.
Yeah, and so welcome to Write It In. I'm Matt.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is a conversational podcast with two married nerds, kind of talking about our travels around, food, games sometimes, all sorts of things. If you
Art
want to hear
sometimes.
more about art as well sometimes. This trip, not much on the art.
Not much art. This is, I think, one of our only vacations where we did not go to an art museum.
Yeah, it's true.
Nary one.
But if you want to hear about the Prague side of the trip, you listen to our last episode. We talk about all sorts of things there, including the Christmas markets and just Prague in general. And then this episode, we're going to talk about the Christmas markets in Budapest, which is the main reason we visited, and also just the city in general.
Yeah, our overall impressions of the place. Spoiler alert. They're positive.
Yeah.
Positive impressions.
And we'll talk about some other things. So take a quick break. We'll be right back. So a quick catch up, not to recash the whole last episode, you can go back to listen to that, hear about Prague, but to talk about how we got to now. About 6 months ago, Rachel's mom reached out to us and said, hey, I'd really like to go to Prague to see the Christmas markets. And of course, because we like Rachel's mom and we like traveling with her mom and we like traveling, we said, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And then, I don't know, a few weeks or a month later, Vicky said, I'd also like to go to Budapest.
She'd heard really good things about it from several friends who had recently gone. I don't know that... I mean, now that I've talked about it, I have some friends online who have weighed in, and they have been. But I don't know that it was, like, super on my radar before my mom brought it up.
One of those... Yeah, right. But I think once she brought it up, and I'll admit, Rachel knows this. I've maybe talked about some of this on some of the former previous episodes. I work reasonably hard at managing expectations. I sort of get an idea in my head, and if it changes, it's sometimes hard for me to kind of roll with that, which is funny because other times, like, I kind of have two speeds. One speed is I'm just going to roll with it, and like once we're traveling, I'm pretty good at just rolling with it. I might still get grouchy if I'm hungry or tired or something, but for the most part, it's like, well, this has gone to shit. Whatever, we'll just do something else, or something else will work out. But if I've got a notion in my head, and I'm much better about this in general, but even just a few years ago, I was much worse at this. But so Rachel's mom said, I'd also like to go to Budapest. And I was thinking, like, it means we're only going to have a couple days in Prague, and we're going to be doing to travel. I kind of kept that all to myself, I think.
You did, because I didn't realize this until just now.
Right.
So,
and then I started, like, looking into it more, and I was like, okay, hold on, Matt, just check yourself. It's cool, right? We're going on this trip. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
And then we started looking at it. We're like, okay, we're still going to be in both places for 5 days or 4.5-ish.
Right.
Which, granted, wasn't a ton of time, but, you know, you got to maximize your travel.
Ultimately about the right length of trip, I think. I could have happily stayed a couple more days, but...
Yeah. Well, and I would say I think I was done with Prague when we left Prague.
Yeah,
I would have done more stuff, but either way, I started looking into Budapest, and I was like, this looks pretty fun. And then I found this YouTube, because as you know from previous things, most of the research I do is watching YouTube videos, or rather, hopefully finding someone who lives in a place and hearing about it from them. And huge shout out to Stuffed Cabbage Adventures on YouTube.
He recommended the tour company, the boat cruise company that we used.
He did that too.
Yep.
Okay.
And yes, as much as I wish they had sent me an email saying, "Hey, by the way, different loading pier,"
it was a very nice cruise.
The rest of the experience was great.
Yeah, I would recommend that cruise. I would not recommend the Danube flooding again, but I don't think the Danube wants to do that either.
Right.
And but he was funny. He was informative. He showed us lots of things. I was like, dang, there's a lot of fun stuff to do there. So we did a lot. But the main reason we were going was the Christmas markets.
Yep.
So first, we're going to talk about the Christmas markets, right?
We talked about it a bit in the Prague episode, so you can go back and listen to that. We're not going to... I don't want to do, like, too much comparison, like, back and forthy.
Yeah.
But just, sort of, I guess, overall impressions of the Budapest ones.
And some quick stats, too, right? I think Rachel's mom and I went to 5 Christmas markets in Prague. You made it to 4 with us. We did only 3 here?
Maybe...
It's like 2.5 because 2 of them are kind of connected, but I think they're technically maybe separate. But yeah, what do you think overall impression? What do you say?
I will say, like, there was much more fun stuff to buy in the Budapest markets. So there were more places that I was pretty sure, like, a lot of the stuff was actually Hungarian. I mean, and like there was a lot of repetition that you saw between different places, but like there were more unique things as well, right?
I think it kind of spoke to a variety of kind of aesthetics too.
Yeah, because there was like things that were kind of cute, but there was also like there were jewelry booths, which I didn't see any of in Prague, and there were there was like honey, one place that was just selling honey, and so I think there was a wider variety. There were a bunch of places that did leather stuff, and then there were ornaments and just kind of like cute, like Christmassy things.
Yeah, there were tons of the traditional, just like, here are the standard Christmas ornaments. But also some different ones. Like your mom got that cool Christmas ornament that it's a little bit of a chunky Christmas ornament, but it's not huge. It's sort of flat. It's hard to describe. It's sort of a, I don't know. It's not a box, but it's more like a flat box, kind of like general shape. Think about it like a really thick cookie.
Yeah.
But it also lights up inside. So it's
Oh right, one of those. I didn't even realize she bought one of those actually.
So it seemed kind of just like, again, there was a wide variety of like traditional stuff that looked like it was straight up tourist trappy kind of stuff, like the paprika spoons and things like that. But then other things that seemed genuinely handmade. And either some of the people were just really good at lying, or they were actually purses and bags designed by his family.
Those ones that when we were talking to him, those were very unique too, with the type of latch that they had on them and stuff. I am actually a little sad I didn't buy one.
Yeah.
I just didn't have any space in my luggage.
Yeah.
So especially because
Probably
I had
got
to
an Etsy store.
buy extra clothing in Amsterdam, so I was really out of space.
So I think to me the big, again, I don't want to compare them too much, right? But I'll just cut to the chase on part of this too. I enjoyed the Christmas markets in Budapest better. Part of that was the main one in Old Town Square in Prague. It's already a tourist destination. So there's already 1 million people there, and then there's also 1 million people there for the stuff. It was just very crowded and hectic. It was fun. The food looked good. Some of the food we got was really good. It stressed me out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we were there a little bit later. We were there at better times of the day in Budapest, but they just seemed better organized in some ways. Like the food was on one side, the crafts were on another side, so you weren't like fighting through lines to get to the crafts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I overall liked them better as well. I think some of the things are very standard between the two. I would say that the mulled wine is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
We got a couple ones that were like slightly different, but I mean, it's pretty standard across all of them. A lot of the food seemed similar, although I will say the Budapest ones, like you could get smoked salmon some places where they were actually smoking
That's
it.
what I regret not getting.
Yeah.
My mom does too.
But a lot of that is pretty similar.
Yeah.
I will say there's not a lot of like kid candy kind of foods, Like
No, yeah, there was like strudels. I don't know if I saw a ton of kids there. I saw some.
Yeah. Yeah, which is kind of interesting, right? Like,
maybe also when
because
we were there.
I think of like fairs in the U.S., right? Like, there's always like cotton candy and like things like that, whereas there wasn't anything like that.
We didn't have any hot chocolate. Some of the hot chocolate of these things are supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, that's true. We just
didn't
stuck
do
with our
that.
wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think
I would recommend, if you are going to be going to Christmas markets, we've only been to 2 countries for them. Sounds like Germany and Austria have amazing ones. So is like Switzerland,
Finland,
and
Estonia.
Finland. Like, yeah, it sounds like there's a glut to choose from. If you have a reason that you might want to be going to Czech Republic or Czechia or Hungary and you want to wrap in, I think either one, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think it was a really nice combination, like, because the train ride between the two is inexpensive, and it was 7 hours, which is like, a solid chunk of time, but like the train was comfortable and relaxed. We had Wi-Fi, and it didn't feel like super long. We brought food and drinks and stuff with us. So I think it was a nice like combination of cities and experiences. And I would say, and last time we went to Czech Republic, we went to Germany, kind of on the back half of that trip, which was also really fun. But I don't know, like some of the architecture is more similar in between Budapest and Prague, and some of the sort of sense of the city is much more similar than Germany, which felt different. So it was kind of, I just think they were a nice pair in terms of in terms of like going to two places in a sort of 10-day period.
Yeah, and I think both would be very different experiences for us or for anybody who goes, if you're going around Christmas market time or you're not. Because we normally, we're going to be going to an art museum every other day on most of our vacations, it seems like. And we didn't go to a single one. In fact, your mom called it out. I wasn't really missing it. But I
definitely would have gone to the Modern Art Museum, though, in Budapest, if we would have had time,
And if the Muka's Bohemian Epic or whatever was still
at
in
the art
Prague,
museum there,
we would have made your mom go to see that because that was amazing.
They're so big. Biggest paintings I've ever seen.
Maybe they're still in Prague, but they're not in that museum.
I think they've moved back to like a
whatever
town.
the town was.
Yeah. But anyway, neither here nor there. But yeah, it was a very different trip for us because it didn't involve any museuming. It just involved markets. We did, we talked about the Jewish Quarter tour last time. We did the dinner cruise, and we also did a tour of the opera house in Budapest.
What did you learn? What did you learn after the going on the opera house tour?
That the man at the front, when he tells you that you can go to the bathroom upstairs when the tour starts, that is a lie.
Oh yeah, right.
Don't believe him.
That wasn't the thing I was going to ask, but you're right.
I learned there's 2 kilos of gold covering the gilding, everything in there.
Yeah.
I learned that the emperor had demanded that it not be bigger than the Vienna opera house, but then he was disappointed that it was perhaps prettier than Vienna.
More grand.
More
right?
grand.
That he was angry, supposedly. I love the stories that we tell, right? Either culturally or whatever. Like they talk about on, what is it, like the road show or whatever, that like if there's a family history about where something came from, it's probably wrong.
Right.
No, that doesn't mean there might not be some kernels of truth, but like we sort of aggrandize things to help ourselves feel good about them. So, but that opera house, gorgeous. If you're going to be in Budapest,
I will say, like I really regret. I just kind of drug my feet for too long because I was like, because I was going to get box tickets for the Nutcracker, and I was like, they're a little bit expensive, and I just kind of like was indecisive about it for too long, and I really regret that I didn't do it because I would have loved to have seen a performance there. Because it is a smaller and kind of more intimate space than say, like we went to the Opera House in for the Nutcracker in Buenos Aires, and that was a huge theater.
Yeah. Also gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. So I definitely, if you're planning, I would look for shows, and I would, try to find.
That's what I was
trying to
find
one.
To.
Yeah.
Right. Is like when you're waffling, like I kind of want it's a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking, it's a little bit expensive, like you probably want to do it. Just pull the trigger, find somewhere else to save a little bit of money, or maybe that's trying to save some more money. Not on the trip, but before or after the trip. Because this might be the only time you're ever in these places.
Yeah.
Not to make you feel bad about it.
No.
I'm happy with the choices we made.
Yeah.
But I think,
it's a good reminder, right? Like, because I spent plenty of money on that dinner cruise, right? And like, for whatever reason, when I was buying that, I wasn't feeling like weird about it, like, oh, maybe I should do, something else or whatever. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of like, I don't know. I think it was summer when I was initially looking at that, and I don't get paid like towards the end of the summer. So, because I'm on a 10-month contract at my job, and so like everything always feels a little bit tighter. So I think that was part of it too, like just
timing.
Yeah.
So another kind of lesson here. We talked about this one on the Prague one momentarily, I think, which was we also failed to see the Nutcracker in Prague because tickets were sold out 6 months before.
Yeah, they sold out really fast in Prague.
So any takeaway I can have for you here, if you're going to be traveling, if you don't travel a ton, if you're not a planner that plans, fight that urge. Like, think about a little bit about the things you want to do, and if there's any chance it might be in demand, look early. If it's seasonal, if it's we've been pretty good, but we're planners.
We are, and we try not to overplan, but it was nice to have just like a couple of things. It was like, okay, so today we're definitely going to do this, and today we're definitely going to do this. One of the things that we did that is unique to Budapest, I think, is the public baths, right? Like there's sort of three main baths. Széchenyi, Gellert, and then one that starts with an R.
Yeah.
We went to Gellert. Obviously, that's why I can remember it.
That one. Yeah.
But I mean,
do your research on those. Each one's a little bit different.
Yeah, but they're really big, right? There's a whole bunch of different pools at different temperatures. Like Gellert has like a pool that you can actually swim laps in, and then it has a warm outdoor pool, and I think in the summer a cool outdoor pool, which was obviously not open in the winter, and then a bunch of different temperature, like just kind of soaking pools. But we did that. I think, I would buy flip-flops somewhere cheaper than actually at the baths themselves, because you have to have flip-flops, and I didn't want to carry them all through Europe with me.
In retrospect, we should have figured out a way to do it. Same thing with towels. Like, we ended up spending $75 on 3 towels and 2 pairs of flip-flops.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that was that much.
Yeah. So that was not a thing I wanted to spend money on, when honestly we could have taken an extra 15 minutes and gone somewhere and bought them before we went.
Exactly.
But like, I didn't think they were going to be that expensive.
I didn't think the flip-flops were going to be $12 each, but we brought home the towels, so you know. Anyway, that was a miracle of packing. That the towels fit.
So there's a bunch of different things on the interweb about how to pack, different philosophies on packing. Rachel and I fall into the category of like one carry-on suitcase and backpack. So for 10 days, like, again, I had some space in my backpack because I got a slightly larger, like a 30-liter one. And your backpack was a little too small.
My backpack was too small. I would change that choice for next time. Although it was a nice size for just walking around the city. And I mean, I don't think we went to Sweden last winter. I don't know. I feel like I overpacked a little bit this time. And I will say, one of the things that we always do that makes this possible is we stay in places where there's washer dryers. Or
speaking of planning,
like washers, you know, which is what makes it feasible to take a carry-on for a 10-day or a 14-day or a 21-day trip, you know.
We talked about this a little bit last time, too. We've stopped using Airbnb, partially because we live in a townhouse community in Atlanta, and a couple of them are run as Airbnbs now. And while the owners are varyingly good at trying to get good people into their place, they can't always control that, and it doesn't make for as nice of a community. And I mean, it's terrible. We've been using it. Not as there's terrible. We've been using it for years. This is like the classic, like, you don't really care until it bothers you,
right? And
now we just have better perspective. Now we're like, oh, Airbnb. Even though we're good guests and we try to be quiet and respectful in the communities and follow the rules. Not everyone does that, because some people are just on stag party weekends or just assholes, right?
Yeah. Some people are just assholes.
And so we've been not using Airbnb.
Yeah,
any longer.
and I'm still comfortable using it. Like, I would still stay in people's like basement apartments or whatever, right? Like when I'm traveling in the U.S., I'm still okay staying in people's spare rooms. But I'm very wary now of like staying in a building that has residents.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a challenge when we go to Japan because we are trying to go inexpensively. Like, we'll talk about this more later, but it's going to be more of a challenge there, I think. But I also, because Japan's population is shrinking, they have like they have more housing than they need. So I feel a little bit less bad about it. Some places in Japan.
Probably more likely in rural communities. I think it's still... But actually, I watched a thing on YouTube about, and it wasn't my normal YouTuber people, but it was about how Japan's real estate is, for such a large first world country, is actually more affordable than most places because they just have like a variety of special circumstances that make it part of its population.
Yeah.
Part of its zoning.
Anyway, I mean, I just like, yeah, that's something that's going to be a challenge, but I mean, we have talked about it before, and we'll probably continue to talk about.
There's other places you can book through. There's like apartment rental places. There's, and you can just do a little bit of research. Like Booking.com, actually, you got most of ours through, right? Or all of ours through.
Both of ours this trip, yeah.
Sometimes they're effectively just Airbnbs. The second one
definitely
the first one was basically an apartment community.
Yeah, like a
short-term rental community.
Yeah, like the Sonder or whatever I talked about last time. This was Art House, or Edrez was the name of the company, and they had like 5 of these sort of buildings in Prague.
So, but we're lamenting on travel stuff or like planning and all these things. But what else do we need to talk about Budapest?
Excuse me.
Sorry, I derailed you.
No, that's fine. We talked a little bit about the baths, which are all, sort of like old and sort of grand and beautiful, which is in general what the city feels like. Prague is like kind of tight and windy streets and, cobblestones and all of that. Budapest for me felt like it was much more influenced by Paris in that it's got wider streets, more of a grid structure,
and definitely like everything is like apartment blocks, but they're apartment blocks from like the 1800s or something. It is grand. It feels like a grand capital.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gorgeous.
It is incredibly gorgeous. Like, especially anything along the river, from both sides. We took pictures from, we went up to the castle area and cathedrals, and you get like really beautiful views of the river and the other side of the city. And then we went to the Holocaust memorial, which is the shoes along the river, and got really beautiful views of the other side of the river. Like, it's just a gorgeous city just to look at. It's really, really beautiful.
I'm looking at our notes here, because we've done more than half-ish of them.
Okay.
But we should take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about some of my favorite things about getting around the city.
Okay. And then a little bit about food as well. We've talked before on the podcast. I mean, in fact, we did an entire episode on the train in Colorado, right? So we've talked about our love of public transit and trains and trams and various different... I'm sure we talked about that adorable, like, Ghibli train in Japan.
Did we talk about that?
If we didn't, we should have, because that was the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that one. Yeah. The one on, like, Oyama or whatever, right? Yeah.
Well, it was the cutest freaking thing that I'd ever seen in my life until, perhaps, the Metro Line 1 in Budapest.
Yeah. I don't know. First of all, like Rachel said, the different things in Budapest, like, it had all of them. Did we take everything?
We took a tram and a bus and a and subway.
Okay, tram, bus, subway. That
We
sounds-
didn't take the funicular, so
No, but I mean, we needed to get home at that point. We
yeah.
were all tired and cold, and
yeah.
I think probably all had to go to the bathroom. But yeah, the metro, especially the line 1, like it was easily the most adorable underground I've been on. It had some of
so
the old
flippin' cute.
timiness of like the London, some of the London Underground lines, but the cars were still from the 60s maybe or something. They were just these like boxy.
Yeah, I don't know if they were actually that old or if they just still looked
old. Yeah. Wow, they were still pretty old. They had leather straps and everything was kind of like herky jerky. The doors are like when they would close. But like there was this adorable tile work. There was fucking wood paneling in the stations.
Yeah.
And so unlike the tube, they're not sort of like roundy tunnels and trains. They're like just
Square,
boxes.
yeah.
Yeah, these little adorable yellow boxes. We also took line 3 or 2 maybe, the blue line.
Blue.
And it was definitely more modern.
Yeah.
That stuff felt like an 80s or something.
Yeah.
And or newer. But this thing was great. It actually reminded me a lot of conceptually the like late 1800s suspended monorail that I want to take in Wuppertal, Germany, because they've purposely kept that older.
Yeah.
The cars inside are more updated there than these were, but
it definitely, I mean, yeah, they're obviously upkeeping the
aesthetic.
Yeah, this very cute aesthetic. And we actually went to a restaurant for dinner one night that had like modeled itself on the aesthetic of the of that subway line, which was also very cute.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit of the city too, or we started to before I decided we needed a break. The architecture, definitely different than Prague.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm sure it is a style, but it felt more like Austro-Hungarian Empire sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a little bit like it's a much more spacious city, and so like the buildings are on a larger scale, all of them, I think, like with the exception of the castle, right? Like the castle sort of district in Prague is very, very large, but like, but just like as you look at the buildings along the river, like many of them are very sizable, right?
Yeah.
And they have their unique architectural elements, but they're also just sort of, there's a lot of substance to the buildings.
They had to have been building for density back when you could just build brick buildings only like 4 or 5 stories tall, right?
Yeah.
And this metro kept some of that style for sure. Just a different sort of style. One that didn't feel, I almost said the word foreign. One that didn't seem unexpected, I suppose, but felt kind of just right. The worst, and I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up because I don't feel like I can do it. Like, I would love to go back to Budapest. I would love to go back to Budapest once this nonsense with illiberal democracies and Oban is over, hopefully.
Yeah, that is a hard thing, right? Because
I don't necessarily want to give him any money or support that, but I would love people to go there and see that when they return to a democracy.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, if you hear this, you want to wait a couple years. Hopefully, he hasn't become a full dictator and it hasn't, relinquished control.
Yeah.
And so, we'll
is a
see.
hard thing, traveling somewhere where, you're definitely unaligned politically and don't want to support the government.
Yeah. I at the same time, if you're one of our listeners that's outside the U.S. and Trump happens to get reelected, please do not come here. Do not give any money to the United States while we have troublesome government situations, authoritarian figures taking power away from people. So, but
Hopefully that won't
Hopefully
be a
this-
concern. But
Hopefully the pendulum swings back a little bit, and we can all go back to Budapest.
yeah.
But yeah, it's adorable. It was very nice. I would like to see lots more stuff there. So aside from the architecture there, we did some other architectural things indoors.
Well, yeah.
We saw the opera house we talked about.
Right. We talked about the opera house, which was very, like I said, gilded. Like it had a very sort of, I don't know, Baroque. Would you call it Baroque? Or
Yeah.
Just kind of over the top. Lots of painted ceilings of like kind of mythological
Yeah.
like scenes. Scenes from classical mythology, right? Like huge chandeliers, gold, like it was red velvet, like all of that kind of stuff. We went to the Matthias, yes,
Saint Matthias.
St. Matthias Cathedral, which was up in the sort of castle,
Yeah, the
area.
Buddha Castle
Yeah.
area.
And I wasn't initially like planning on going in there, but my mom was interested in it, so we got.
Mike, you were trying to steer us away from it.
I know. I was just sort of like,
don't really
hey,
need
you've
to go
seen
in
one
there.
church,
Yeah.
you've seen them all. But in fact, I had not just seen them all because the interior of it was delightful.
Yeah.
Because everything was like painted with these different patterns. It was fascinating. And I posted a bunch of them to Instagram, so you can go and check those out. But yeah, it was just like, and they weren't religious patterns necessarily. It was just like everything was decorated with different colors, different styles of patterns. The floors were mosaiced. This roof tiles create patterns on the outside in different colors. Their tile. There were painted wood ceilings, and then of course like stained glass and everything. So that was just really cool. Like, it was not that same actually kind of like gilded, like sort of heavy feeling church that you often get in Europe.
Right. It wasn't stuffy.
Yeah. And it was just a real surprise.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I've never seen anything like this.
I would say a lot of the painting, because there were a lot of like murals. I don't know if there were frescoes or what, right? But painted walls with people. Religious scenes, one might actually expect,
Right.
as well as all the patterns, but nothing. There was no exposed stone, hardly at all. If at all.
everything was entirely, devoted to imagery of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's pattern or painting or stained glass.
And so the religious scenes, most of them were, I would say, again, I should know this, I have an art degree, but like more like Art Nouveau-y kind of feeling. Like they had the sort of soft colors with slightly harder edges or defined edges. And all the patterns were, I'm not going to say pastels, but sort of like softer tones.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, the colors were,
Somewhere
I think
in between.
softer is like a fair description for them,
You've seen this color. It's like, I don't know what, it's from a time period. It comes back.
And again,
like
you can look at
woodblock
it on
prints and
Instagram
stuff.
if you're interested, because I did take a ton of pictures
Yeah,
of
and
them.
then I took some, also posted some of the interiors, some more
Right.
of the architecture of the pillars. But get a plug, not just because we want the clicks, but because you might appreciate it. Because really seeing it in person would be even better, but seeing the pictures would be second best. Is Rained In, REAIN, ITIN _ podcast. So you can check those out. What I feel like, similar to Prague though, I just enjoyed walking around the city and seeing things.
Yeah, it was also a nice city to walk in. I mean, Prague is very nice, and Budapest was also very nice. I think part of it is like they're both reasonably flat until you get to that Castle Hill
And both
part. And, there's good public transportation in both places that will take you to the top of that hill.
They both have a very big river running through them.
Yes, that's true. They do. The Danube is very large. Well, especially when it's flooding. I mean, it was full and moving quickly, and like I said, just disrupting a variety of things. Like I think I said we went and visited the Holocaust Memorial, and we did that on the last day that we were there. And I think had we done it a couple days prior, it would have been underwater.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah,
from
because
what
the
you
shoes
said.
were full of mud. well, they're not real shoes. They're bronze castings
yeah.
of shoes, but they were definitely, a bunch of them were full of mud. So, yeah, it was significantly high, the water.
So last thing we were going to talk about too was about the food,
right.
And they're famous for a couple things. You hear about chimney cake. I don't remember how to say it in Hungarian, and it's like tredlucky or something like that.
I can't say anything
Prague.
in Hungarian except for wine, which is bor. Oh, and I can say cheese, shite, which
Not quite shite, but it's close.
yeah,
It sounds amazingly close.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So, but they're kind of I don't know, mimosas. One you see people talk about a lot is langos,
yeah,
which is Langos. Either the A or the O has an accent over it, but it's like a sh at the end from what they say. We held off on getting that until the last day because I was a little bit worried it was going to be heavy, and we'd been eating a lot of heavy meals because it is so it's deep fried dough that then has
sour cream and cheese on it,
or other toppings.
Yeah,
that's the traditional one.
Traditional sour cream and cheese. Yeah,
surprisingly not heavy.
Not as heavy as we had feared. Certainly not.
There's still a lot.
It wasn't super greasy, I will say,
Yeah,
which is what I think we were more worried about. I didn't eat any goulash anywhere.
No, I had goulash in Prague, but I didn't, and I do feel like I missed a little bit of food, and I don't know what kind of happened. It was
I think we went to 2 restaurants that somehow made it onto the trendy restaurants list. And so I think part of that was that their menus were a little bit more diverse. And I think also, you cannot find a vegetable in Prague. Just, you can't.
No, I realized I was talking today to someone. The little breakfast salad. We went out to breakfast a couple times in Prague, and I had eggs, and you'd get this little salad that was 14 pieces of rocket or arugula or spinach or something.
That's it.
That was the majority of potatoes.
Yeah, so I think by the time we got to Budapest, I was just I really want to eat vegetables. And so I was less likely to order something like a goulash because I was I need something green. And we actually ate at home one night. We had salad. And we bought a bunch of produce at a produce market and worked our way through that in the time that we
had
were
breakfast
there.
at home, and sometimes lunches were just kind of like a snack around or something.
Yeah, but I think that's why I missed some of the more traditional Hungarian dishes, maybe just because I was trying to get as much vegetable into my life as possible.
Did you have a favorite meal?
Well, the langos was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. And then, the first night that we were there, I had a pulled lamb thing. It was on top of hummus, and it had pita with it. It didn't. I thought it was going to have a salad with it, but it didn't. It did have a salad, but the salad was a grain salad.
Yeah.
So I lost there, but
that lamb was
really good.
Fantastic. Because it was shredded.
Yeah, so that was, I was a little bit disappointed with my restaurant, which I had picked out and made a reservation at. I don't think...
And your mom didn't dig hers? I thought mine was great. I loved that one. What the hell did I have? I don't remember. I just remember really enjoying it and being feeling a little guilty that both of you were okay with yours. And I was
I was already full by the time my entree came because we had again, I got vegetables and I wanted a salad and it was a 14 euro salad. So I was how big is it? And he was oh, it's not that big. It's appetizer sized, And then it came, Matt and I both ordered it, and we could have easily split it.
Oh, yeah.
It was it was too much. So I was full after my salad. So I didn't really enjoy my meal as much as I could have because, I was already full.
Yeah, and...
I don't remember what you got either.
Why do I not remember what I got? I just remember, I loved the salad, too. It had roasted
It had pumpkin
in it. It had
it was
2
good
different kinds of
salad.
goat, aged goat cheese. One of them had ash on it. I'm a big fan of ash-covered goat cheese, I realized. It's a style,
It's a
right? But we've
specific
had it a few
fetish,
times.
you know.
Yeah. But I think my favorite meal was that first night too. When you had the lamb, I made my favorite meme variation with whatever McMahon and the growing excitement and glowing eyes. But it was it was truffle flavored roast sweet potato. Give or take the truffle flavored, but it was like, oh, all right, like I'm okay with that. And I was like, oh, I like roasted sweet potatoes, and then it was like wrapped in a Wellington, so it was like
Yeah,
a little,
it was like a
one serve.
vegetarian Wellington.
Yeah,
It's definitely something that we're going to try to remake at home. Sans truffle.
so good. Yeah, and then it also had something else roasted vegetables on the side. So I had like all sorts of vegetables. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was delicious through and through.
Yeah, especially, again, Prague, just, there's no vegetables to be had.
Yeah.
It is a meat and potato place.
Oh, I had that deconstructed,
Oh, right, stuffed cabbage.
yeah. So it was a deconstructed stuffed cabbage. So it had like a whatever that fancy ham is, the fancy pork.
Mangalisa.
Yeah, and it was like a tureen of that, like so sort of like shredded, not moussey, but like
Not
that.
necessarily shredded, but like mince.
Just really,
Yeah.
really soft, I suppose. And then had, just like roasted cabbage, sauerkraut.
Some tomatoes in
Yeah,
there.
there were like oven roasted tomatoes. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, I mean, mine was also good. Like I had chicken and the most ridiculous potatoes that
Oh my goodness, those
the
potatoes
world has
I
ever
forgot.
seen. They were more cheese and butter than anything.
Potato.
They
Yeah.
were very good.
They were delicious though. They were too thin to be able to hold on a fork.
Yeah, I know. It needed a spoon. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But overall, I thought the food. I was very happy with the food. And
yeah, I think the food is better. I feel like we're dogging on Prague, but I love Prague.
I
It's
really
lovely.
enjoyed it. Yeah,
It's just that,
there's you're going to drink a lot of beer and you're going to eat a lot of heavy food.
yeah, exactly.
If you're eating local cuisine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think we got lucky with some restaurants in Budapest
I
as
think
well.
so too. Yeah. I mean, and again, we got the langosh place that we went to. We were pointed to from the stuffed cabbage guy.
Yeah.
And the other ones we just found online by looking at places with good reviews. And then we ate Italian food one night, and we just went to the place that was right next to our apartment
next
because
door.
we were tired and wanted something like as easy as possible, basically.
Yeah. I don't even remember eating lunches most days. I remember eating breakfast at home, and then we would just get like weird snacks from around.
Yeah.
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 And we were only there like for 4 dinners.
Yeah. No, we were there for 5 nights. We would have been there for 5 dinners, but one of them we ate salad
Yeah.
at home.
I'm trying to think of what the fourth one was. The 2 that were on the list, the Italian. It was only like 3 days ago.
I know.
So, but our trip home was nice and flawless.
Yeah, no problems on the way home. No canceled flights. No drama at
Yeah.
all.
I had an idea for our next podcast. What was it? It was, favorite bars we've been to.
Oh,
Because we
yeah.
did go to the Rune Bar area,
Yeah.
and we learned that Rune bars are for young people.
Yep. Yeah.
It was still fun. We found a good dive bar, the one that was called Hops Beer Bar, I think.
Yeah,
it was.
that was really fun. It was just incredibly hot. If it
Yeah.
wasn't quite so hot, we would have stayed longer. But I did like that. I did like that place.
Yeah, good vibe, good beer selection.
There were like 30
Friendly
kinds
folks.
of Estonian beer.
Yeah.
I had an Estonian beer because there were 30 kinds of them, and I was like, I don't think I've ever had a beer from Estonia before. And if there are 30 of them, they must be pretty decent.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah,
Recommend both. Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely recommend going to Christmas markets. It was fun. That was another one not on my radar. If your mom had not said she
Yeah.
wanted to go, wouldn't have even considered it. But
Definitely
it was
not.
a fun excuse.
Yeah.
And we're already talking about going to Finland and Latvia
Estonia.
or Estonia.
Yeah, in 2 years. So we'll see if we make it. There's ferry in between the two.
Yeah.
It seems like, I mean, Finland has been on my list for a while. Estonia was not, but hey, it's a quick ferry ride away.
Yeah.
So might as well.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Hashtag might as well.
Might as well. All right. Well, thanks again for listening. I hope you have a great day. Yeah. Any other last words?
Yeah, you can, again, check out the Instagram because we did post a lot of pictures of the cool things that we saw in both of these cities. So.
Yep. Also, Rachel mentioned this a little bit earlier. We're going to spend a month in Japan, 30 days, in May and June. So if you have any recommendations on places there, I mean, we've got tons of things listed. We're already got a general plan, which is going from Tokyo to the Kansai region with Osaka, Kyoto, and maybe Kobe, and then down around the Seto Inland Sea to do the Art Islands, and Hiroshima, and maybe a couple other of the cities down there. We'll see. But if you have any specific places or suggestions on there, we'd love to hear it. Or if you've just been to Budapest and loved it or hated it, or want to tell me how you're never going to listen to this again because you like Trump, you probably have not listened to this part of the podcast.
Right.
So.
Yeah. You probably stopped a while ago. All right.
Go democracy.
Hashtag.
Thank you for listening to Rain It In, Matt and Rachel. You can check us out on Instagram at rainedin_podcast or Facebook at rainedinpodcast. We encourage you to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, or you can listen direct at anchor.fm/rainedin. Thanks again for listening. Have a great day.